What's up, everybody? This is Bob Hollywood with another episode of Bob's Holly World. Today I'm going to be doing a more recent review. As you can see, I have 5 3 3/4 figures that came in one package. And it's the Marine Force Recon from Elite Force. That's the brand, and it's actually made by Sunny Day Toys. Sunny Days Toys. So that's cool. These are like your G.I. Joes. These are like your core. Anything along that line you can think of, these are your soldiers. I think this is sold exclusively in Target. I say that because that's the only place I've seen it new. I actually bought this at Goodwill. I bought 2 sets. So what you see in front of you right now is the open set. And I also have some unopened figures right off screen to show you what they're capable of and all that good stuff. So I'm not going to open this package in front of you. I have no need to right now. When it's time for some Army Men action down the line for me, I will open it. But right now, it's just not necessary for me. So these figures, when I've seen them at Target, I've seen this pack and I've seen the Navy SEALs, which is also on the back. The Navy SEAL Knights. Apparently, there's 5 different types you can get of just the figures. There's the Air Force Command Controller. There's the Navy SEALs Night Ops, which is what I've seen at Target as well. And they're wearing all black. You get the Army Rangers and the Army Delta Operator. The Rangers and the Delta Operator are wearing a tan, whereas these soldiers are wearing more like a brown, it looks like. And then the Air Force Combat Controller is wearing green. There's also not necessarily play sets, but other vehicles like a Delta Force attack vehicle, armored Humvee, armored vehicle over here, and we got some naval warships and a helicopter with a motorcycle as well. Today we don't have any of that. We just have these figures and their weapons. It says exclusive figure here, which is the Scout Sniper, codenamed Striker, which is this guy right here. He doesn't have his hat on. I can put his hat on for you. Bam. It says he's an exclusive figure. I don't know what makes him exclusive, but the Navy SEALs box also had a figure far to the left that said exclusive. And again, I don't know why he's exclusive or, what's so exclusive about him, but I'm not the one that packaged this or sold it. Up next, we have the squad leader, Sergeant, codenamed TJ. And I'm not going into the review of these guys yet. I'm just putting them in front of their packaged version. And third character we have is, let me make sure we got the right helmet for him, is the M224 60 Mortarman, codeman Tank. Fourth guy is the small SMAW shoulder launcher guy. His name is Cannon. And Cannon and Tank, they have some heavy artillery. And then the last guy is Radio Man, codenamed Grunt. And he has the same weapon that TJ has. But that's pretty cool. I have all their weapons. I'm going to lay them down in front of them. I didn't know exactly how to go about setting up this mortar round, so might have some trouble with that. But other than that, it's just, I'm gonna move this back just a little bit, move it down, and other than that, it's pretty simple. These guys are cool. I'm gonna start with they all have the same articulations, so I'm just gonna use Grunt as my first example. His hat comes with this built in, I guess it's like a telescope, like a looking glass, and none of these guys have peg holes because they have these vests that look like they come off, but they don't. They're actually a part of the molding. I think that's cool. They already look like they're ready for action, unlike like Joe's and Corps members and stuff like that. So they don't have peg holes or anything, and none of the weapons on their body come off. They're molded. So there's a gun there. And this guy, he looks bald. He actually has hair. His hair is the same color as his head. So like there's texture there if you touch his head. But their arms go up this far. swivel at the elbow. The arms go all the way around. I found that if you rotate it backwards, it goes around, where it's a little bit harder if you try to do it forward. See how it won't go. And that's with all of them. If you want to go backwards, it can. Nothing in the hands. They have gloved hands. So all their hands are the same color. Literally, the only thing that distinguishes them apart in terms of color, as this guy's black, is his head. Their knees bend. And they go for it that much. Some of them go for it less, depending on how this part of them is on them. Let's go back that far. That's pretty good. Let me see if one of them will kick their leg forward less. See, this one does it less, and it has, because this is harder. This part on him is harder than this part. So that's why some of them don't move forward as much. One thing I don't like about these figures is this is your sniper, and he's decked out to, not be seen. He's got this camouflage on. I guess this is a ghillie suit. He's got this hat. He's got his little sniper rifle, which is also camouflaged. It's a different color than what he's wearing, so that's a little weird. But this guy can't bend his head or anything. He's stuck in this position. So if he's crawling along the ground, or if he's just prone on the ground laying there, he can't see what he's shooting at. He's stuck like that. He can't see. Now if he's sitting, which is also difficult because of his vest, as you can see, that's his sitting. It'd be a little bit hard for him to see. Now, of all these weapons, they're kind of large for their hands, by the way. Let me see if I can get this in his hand. It's hard to do. There it is, precariously. But as you can see, yeah, it doesn't look that great. It's in there, but it'll easily come out. That's simple. And that's with all of their hands and all of their weapons. They're literally, everything is the same on their limbs, from what I can tell. So they're all sculpted the very exact same. So his hand, and this is Grunt's weapon, holds this a little bit better. Actually, a lot better than his own weapon. So it's like that sniper rifle is just bigger. Like this handle just seems a lot bigger than you would want it to be. But other than that, they're pretty cool. He has this scar. They all have distinctive features, not alone just their vests. Their vests are all different. But he has this mask. He has brown hair. He's covering up his face. TJ, he's the only one with a hat that doesn't come off. But I guess maybe that's a sergeant for you. I have no clue. I'm not that guy that knows all this stuff about military stuff. Tank's helmet is still on. Tank's helmet just has visors. I'm going to put on and see. So he's actually got his eyes covered right now. So it's excellent if he's the driver. Cannon. Oh, another thing about Tank, before real quick. He kind of looks like Channing Tatum, just a little bit. He looks like Channing Tatum. So Channing Tatum, you might want to hop on Elite Force, dude. Yeah, I'm snitching. Samuel L. Jackson did that with Nick Fury, and hey, they made him Nick Fury. Here we go. This is Cannon. Cannon gelling. He's the only one that's in the shit. He's yelling. He's got brown hair. He's growing some stubble. I don't think you're supposed to. I think you're supposed to shave every day as a Marine. I could be wrong. Maybe it's different if you're out there in it. And again, black guy's black. And he has hair, but he looks like he's bald. From what I could tell, in the Navy SEALs one, there's also one black guy there. He actually looks like he's bald. So that's cool. I think they put a lot of detail into it. There's not too much different from each figure, but they're all standalone. They're all different. Now, in Target, these things are $20, $19.99, which, if you're a cheap person like me who's so used to the core, which is really, the core is my first exposure to these Army Men sort of things. The core, you can get 3 core figures for $5, and you get a little vehicle, or you can get a small vehicle, 1 figure for $6, $7. The core, dirt cheap compared to these guys. And I'm not saying anything bad about that. It's just that if you're on a budget and you just want a lot of figures, you're going to want to go with core. These look a lot nicer than core. They don't have the same movements because a lot of cores, especially now, their legs will come apart and they can do all sorts of more dynamic things. I'm actually going to compare these to some figures. So we're going to take Tank, since he's the one I'm holding in my hand. I'm going to face him to the left. And let me real quick, you see how that looks like it could come off? It doesn't. It's just one piece. It's not one piece, but it doesn't come off. So if it were to come open, his arms and legs would just be separate. He'd be dead. So we're going to stand him there, and we're going to compare him to a G.I. Joe, one of the only actual G.I. Joes I have. This is just a green shirt infantryman that came with Firefly a few years back. I just found this guy in a Goodwill, so I don't have the other ones that came with it. I'm looking into buying them because I really like this figure. He's awesome. But as you can see, they're about the same height. Looking at the camera, it looks like the Joe's taller, but with my own eyes, they look about the same height. I'm trying to get him to stand up a little bit better. He doesn't have any issues standing up. I'm just trying to make sure they're on even ground. He might be taller than the Elite Force guy. See, they're about the same height. Obviously, the Joe looks a lot more cartoony, but they're both cool. That's him compared to a Joe, same height. I'll compare him to a core figure. And the core figure's taller. And core figures vary. I can't speak on Joe, but I know core figures' heights vary. Like, this is Smoke, and there are figures that are taller than Smoke, like Titan. Titan's taller than him, but Smoke. I think Smoke's cool. Obviously, more articulation, but the same as the G.I. Joe. Compare him to a U.S. Army figure. So this is an official U.S. Army figure. They get paid off of that, which is great. Here he is. Again, about the same height. This guy's wearing a helmet, but about the same height. Only thing I don't like about this guy is, like, he looks more cartoony. He's much wider. Arms are bigger head. Worse articulation, but we're not comparing him. We're not reviewing him, rather. Then we'll compare him to an icon, Captain America. This is Marvel Universe, Marvel Infinite, maybe. I'm not really sure. I bought him loose. He's taller, which I like. I like when the superheroes are taller, and Captain America is actually one of the shorter ones that I have. Like a lot of the Marvel Universe or Infinite characters, something they're also called Marvel Legends now, and this scale are way taller than Captain America. So that's good. It's not too bad. Then I'm going to compare him to your president, Lex Luthor, which is obviously a DC figure. He's taller than the president. It's cool. And lastly, I'm going to compare him to a lunatic. I'm going to compare him to Blue Deadpool. And Deadpool's like Captain America in that regard. He's taller than the soldier, which I like. Deadpool's a super... he's not a superhero, but you know, he's super powered in a way. Well, his superpower is healing. So he does have a leg up on Captain America, and that Captain America doesn't have superpowers. But yeah, Deadpool's a mutant, or mutate really, and his power is healing. So he's taller. I like that. One more thing I'm going to bring in. I'm going to bring in the vehicle from that U.S. Army figure, and here it is. And the reason why I'm bringing this in, because, you know, I want to show you, like, there's options out there for vehicles. Like, I don't have any of this guy's vehicles that came with him. I forced his, I just forced his vest to let me bend his legs a little bit further. So there he is sitting in the vehicle, and I'll go ahead and throw Grunt on the back. There's peg holes on this vehicle, but none of these guys have peg holes. That's another thing. None of these guys have peg holes. They stand on their own accord. I'm going to shake my table. I shook my table. They stood. If you watched any of my CSSS videos, you know people fall really easily. These guys are not going to be a problem with that. So here he is in the vehicle. And this vehicle has wheels. But here he is in the vehicle. It works for his size, which is good. This is a cheap little vehicle. I bought this vehicle, a tower, and 2 figures for 13 bucks. So this vehicle is good for that, for your 3 3/4. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Man, I'm gonna pose these guys saluting. They salute, which is something I notice some of your 3 3/4 with weird elbows can't do. Like these guys can salute. These guys can show the proper respect to each other or to their president, like I just said, Lex Luthor. And that's cool. That is cool that they can do that. And I think there's one more thing I wanted to point out. I'm drawing a blank right now as to what it was, but here they are with their president, showing the proper respect. I can't remember what the other thing it was that I wanted to say about these guys, but it is what it is. Thank you guys for joining me. Not going to waste any more of your time. This has been another more recent review with Bob Hollyworld and I don't even know my name. Bob Hollywood and Bob's Hollyworld. Thank you. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.